Welcome to Monster Monday. So, continuing with the theme of yesterday and taking an action hero and kind of having an action slasher, this time we're going to do an action monster movie, Dark Angel, aka, as I knew it growing up, I come in peace. Can you hear? There it is. I come in peace. And you go in pieces, asshole. This is something my brother and I quoted a lot when I was a kid. That line of just like the I come in peace and you go in pieces. So that is my memory of it. And then I remembered that it was Dolph Lundgren. I remember what the alien monster guy looked like. And that was really about my recollection of the movie. And when I saw this was on Blu-ray from Shout Factory, or Scream Factory, that it was only $10, and I was like, all right, man, I haven't seen this in forever. I gotta pick this up. So I picked it up, and obviously I watched it, so let's talk about it. So, Dark Angel, let's go. So we get an opening scene here, the first kill of the movie. And this guy's driving around a Mercedes, and this is from the 80s, and he says that he paid $70,000 for that car. 70 grand for a Mercedes in the 80s? Is that a real price? Like, that'd be like 140 grand. I feel like that'd be double what it is now, you know what I mean? That just seems out of control for that car, but maybe it was. And then these guys rob this police station. They go into the police lockup and they take all this heroin. And then they blow up the entire police station to cover their tracks. Dude, if you thought the police were going to come after you for stealing some heroin, blow up their entire fucking brotherhood. You don't fuck with the cops. You sure as shit don't kill one of them. Because they are like this in that way. They will fucking come after you. You kill a cop, man, it's over for you. They will put in every single bit of effort they have to come and get you. You blow up an entire police building, fucking forget it. So, not the greatest of plans. But, you know, I'll say this. I quite enjoyed the plot line of this movie. I thought this was pretty unique. It reminded me of a mixture of things. The first one and the most, I guess, would be obvious thing would be Critters. Now, I would like to know what came out first, this or Critters. I'm going to have to look that up after. I didn't even think of it until right now. Like, wait a minute. When did Critters come out? That's a good question. When did this come out? I actually don't even know. This is 1990. So I would assume Critters is like a year or two before this. So yeah, I mean, you've got this alien who's coming here to wreak havoc, and then you've got this, you know, other alien cop who's hunting this guy down, and he has a special weapon to take it out, even though that's not, I mean, I guess technically that is the weapon that's used at the end, but is it really? We'll get into that. But that, of course, is number one. Critters. Next would be Predator. This is very Predator-esque. You know, more like Predator 2. But yeah, there's those ones. And then, you know, whatever cop fucking movie you want. Because you've got this badass cop and he takes on a new partner. But I don't take on new partners. But as far as the plotline goes, I thought it was really interesting. And I was at first kind of having a little hard time following it because I felt like it was like, wait, what's happening now? What's going on? But then I pieced it together and I was like, oh, okay. So these guys rob this place, you know, the police station, take the heroin. Then the alien comes for the heroin, kills all the guys, grabs the heroin, and then uses the heroin to inject with his little rod thing that comes out of his arm. This goes into people that he, you know, happens upon. What the fuck was that? Someone was like What was that? Like someone was attacking my chest. Fucking bug or something? I don't have no idea what the hell that was. That was weird. But he takes his heroin, he injects it into his unsuspecting victim, which gives him this massive rush of endorphins, and then he immediately cuts into their brain, and I guess this is a very precision tool, even though it doesn't look like he just fucking jams it in there. Because the girl in this is like, it's a sophisticated piece of technology, and it would have to pinpoint this and that. And then we see it, and it's the guy's just fucking punching like a little, needle into this person's head and extracting this pure drug out of their head. And because he kills all those drug dealers, the drug dealers think it's Kane who's killed all of them in retribution of his dead partner, which they killed. So it's kind of like the alien is setting him up and he doesn't even know it. So not only is Kane, played by Dolph Lundgren, having to deal with this alien who's monstrous and fucking seems to be unbeatable, and no one even believes that he exists, but he's also having to deal with this drug land gang fucking war thing going on, and they're after him for blood. So he's dealing with multiple things here, and they want their retribution, they want their drugs back. So as far as the plot goes, I thought it was kind of cool. This is like this it's a stretch, but there's this like intergalactic drug dealer, or I don't know what the hell he's doing with the drugs. But he's making drugs, so I guess he's rounding up drugs to use or sell. I don't know. And then he's got this cop, so I would assume he's breaking the law. You're not allowed to just kill humans even on some other planet that's not even yours. I mean, that's pretty cool that he would come here to rescue us. Like, if you were finding out that we were killing people on other planets, killing species on other planets, would you want to rush out there and save them? I don't know how many people would, but I wouldn't assume too many. But he's chasing after this guy, and we don't really get a lot of development there, which is cool. It shrouds them in mystery, and I'm okay with that. And okay, so Dolph is sitting, or Kane is sitting in his car, and he's tapped into this drug deal, this sting operation, which just seems to be them two for some reason. I mean, this seems very ill planned, because you would think he'd have multiple guys in backup. Like, what was this, like some secret sting operation? It just doesn't make any sense. Whatever. It's just them two, and he's supposed to be listening in, and a fucking liquor store is getting robbed right next to him, and he has to make that decision. And once they start shooting, he's like, oh shit, I gotta go help these people, hold on, I'll be right back. But of course that guy can't hear him, and so he runs off to save the day there and then get back in time. Now my question would be, if this place is across the street and the people across the street in the stores are shooting their guns, wouldn't the guys across the street hear that? 100% they would. 100% they would. So this is silly, because then when Kane comes back out to go to his car, he hears gunfire, and he hears it right there, which is just not 20 feet from where he was, and he's like, oh shit, and he runs in there, and they're all dead. This just makes zero sense. This makes zero sense, but whatever. The writing is mostly good otherwise. And the guy's just killing the cop outright like that, like finding out this is a sting and then just shooting him right in the head. This is not believable at all. Not at all. If they thought they were being set up by a cop and he was in there, they would check him for a wire. They would know there'd be people that were probably waiting right outside to raid the place, and they're going to commit murder on a police officer during a sting. Get the fuck out. Nobody's that bold. Nobody's that crazy. So that's just fucking stupid, but it is what it is. And then he's got his little spherical disc, and or just a disc, and he shoots it out. And of course, this reminds me of Hellraiser 3 with the killer CD guy. God, man, I swear. Here's the thing. This is what's weird about the yawning. I know I do it in a lot of videos, but it's almost 3 a.m. It happens, but I've been sitting here watching movies, hanging out, doing shit for the last couple hours. And it is until I start recording that I yawn. I don't yawn before I do it. It must be because I'm talking. Like, I guess talking just further tires me, or because I'm not breathing as much, or I don't know what the fuck it is. But for some reason, I have no yawning going on before I start. Like, I'm totally fine. And then as soon as I get in here, and I'm not even tired. That's what's so fucking weird about this. Like, I'm sitting here and I feel wide awake. So the yawning thing is so fucking annoying. And I try to push away from it as much as I can. I'm like, I'll try to talk through it and let it come out slowly. Like, and like, I've done it a few times where I feel like you guys haven't even noticed I was yawning. You probably did. Anyway, so if I yawn again, apologies. I can't fucking do anything about it. Anyway, and so he gets his new partner, who's kind of a little weasel at first, but as it goes on, you're kind of unsure about the guy, but you end up liking him, or at least I did. And what was this? Oh, of course, Kane has to be banging a fellow police officer, or I think she's actually like an on the premises. She's like I think she works in the morgue, right? She's a doctor. I think that's what it is. But whatever. Regardless, he's banging someone he works with. Bad idea. And of course she hates him because he's not calling her. He's too much of a man to give her a call back. This is such an 80s trope. This ain't not true at all anymore. Not in my world. So it's always funny to see. And then, I already talked about all that. And then we move into the strip club, where we run into the good old recently deceased Michael Pollard, who anytime I ever see him, I jump back and forth. It's weird. Every time I see him now, the first thing I want to think about is Sleepaway Camp 3. Sweet pea. Sweet pea. And then, of course, Scrooged as well. But those are my two most famous roles with him, and he just died recently, and he keeps popping up and stuff, so he's such a weirdo. I love it. It's good seeing him here. And then Hunt, like yeah carries my side. So they go and they find this the disc, right? And somehow the forensics team before him, I don't even know if they had forensics back then. I would assume they would, right? I mean, this is 1990. This ain't that long ago. But whatever. He goes in there and he's like, oh, it must have went off here and then ricocheted here and then boom. There's a fucking, like, open slice into that thing. No one thought? I guess, I don't know. I guess it's believable because they wouldn't be looking for a murder weapon like that. And they would just think maybe that thing got cut. I would just think they would take off that speaker plate. Maybe not. I don't know. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. But then I'm like, wait a minute. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it. No one else would be looking for any kind of killer tool like that. So maybe it's believable. Oh, fuck it. I'll say go for it. I'll believe it for now. But yeah. And I love how he just nonchalantly carries this thing like right at his side, pressed up against his hip, after he just like his partner touched it, cut right open his finger, and then when it was pulled out of there, it immediately attracted right back to that thing. So if it accidentally knocked loose or hit his side, it'd cut his ass right open. So I just love how he just presses the thing on the side where it's at, right against the side of him, and he's just walking around like no big deal. I thought that was so fucking stupid, but funny. And then they go into his house and this, or his place, and this is one nice place for a cop that doesn't make anywhere near as much money as the other guy does, as he likes to point out multiple times. And then the love interest here comes in, and he goes to her house, I think, and she slaps him across the face multiple times, and then finally he grabs her and she's like, no. And this is like that, playful I want more no. It's like a 90s no. It's a late 80s, 90s no. It's funny how many scenes in movies would be considered crossing the line, like nowadays, which I'm 100%, dude. This is no shit, no joke at all. If a girl is hesitant in the slightest, if she's like, I don't know, I'm instantly out, instantaneously out. I'm just like, nope. And then even if they try to be like, no, I'm actually, never mind, I'm good. And I'll be like, nope. I'm only going in 100%. It has to be that way for me. So as soon as I hear no, I'm like, okay, I'm done. But I'm just somebody who doesn't, not only do I never want to be accused of something, but also, I have respect. That's another thing. But also it's I have an issue with people not wanting me. That's an issue I have. All right, I shouldn't say is it an issue? I guess it's kind of an issue. But I just I don't if I don't care how much I'm into somebody. If someone comes around me and is I'm dating someone, we're crazy about each other, and they're just I don't think I want to be with you. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence right now. I'd be like, I'm gone, 100%. I'm gone. You're completely into me or not into me. I'm just somebody that's if you don't want to be with me, I don't chase people. I'm not yearning for people. I don't beg people to come back. None of that shit. With me, I'm in until I'm not. Until you're and I'm like, bye, goodbye. I don't know. That's an ego thing, I guess. It's I'm fucking amazing. You're questioning whether you want to be with me or you out of your goddamn mind. I'm fucking out of here. I don't know. I just don't like being people's burdens. Whatever. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Moving on. And then we cut to the hot mechanic that gets herself killed. Unfortunately, we don't see her tits, but we do see some in the strip club. And then we meet our lovely scientist guy, who might be the best character and the funniest fucking character in a movie that I've seen in a little bit. This dude is cracked out of his fucking mind. This guy brews up this potent ass coffee that's supposed to be way higher concentrated caffeine, whatever. And he takes a sip of it and he just immediately screams. And I fucking thought that was so funny. I was not expecting it. Kind of reminds me of the scene in Inherent Vice when Joaquin Phoenix is handed this picture. This girl hands him a picture and she's like, this is her, or have you seen her, or something like that. And he just she's like, yeah, this is my sister, this is something, I can't remember what she says, but he just looks at the picture, he's ah, and then you're like, he just completely brings back his composure. I thought that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life, was that moment in Inherent Vice. And this is just still this is so funny to me. He just, as soon as he drinks, he's fucking freaked, and he's he's tweaking out, and then there's all these pills all over the table. He's like, I need these to be able to concentrate, this and that. He's ridiculous. But then he gets attacked, and he's fine. He's totally normal. I guess being off the drugs isn't a bad thing for this guy. But yeah, he works completely on drugs the entire time, and it's pretty funny. Then they have the car chase, and for some reason, even though Kane has made this really quick move, there's another one. He sees them coming, from the left, and all he would have to do is turn to the right or make another turn. There's no way they could get to him, but they just keep driving next to each other. I've seen this in movies a few times, where they make this crazy move and then someone's on the side of them and they can clearly look over. They do look over and they see him, and it's make another turn, and this person's gone. There's no way they can get back around before you can make a couple more turns, and then you're just history. There's no way. They just could not, for any reason. Like that center part. What's fucking my hat is dying. I should do it like this. I should do the review like this. Hi, welcome to Sinister Cinema. Terrible. Terrible. Why can't they just make a fucking right or a left or something? Well, they're on the left, so make a right, then a left, then a right. Whatever. It's always so fucking stupid to me. You see them there. There's cross streets everywhere. Just make a hard turn and take that down and make another. But yeah, for some reason he goes and he plays chicken with these guys, and I guess once they lose at chicken, that's it. They're not going to turn around and follow him more. I don't understand. I don't get it at all. It makes no sense, but it makes for a fun watch, so who cares? A lot of kicking for Dolph Lundgren in this. I didn't realize that he was such a martial artist in his movies. I honestly, to be completely honest, I haven't seen a lot of Dolph Lundgren movies. I've seen the obvious ones. I've seen the Universal Soldier, and I've seen Rocky 4. I've seen his obvious things, and then the Expendables movies and whatnot. But I haven't seen a lot of his like solo movies. I've seen The Punisher. I haven't seen a lot of those like movies he made in the 90s and whatnot that were just like he was the star. I don't know if I've seen, besides this and like The Punisher, I don't know if I've seen another like Dolph Lundgren starring by himself with like no other action guy. I don't know if I've seen another one. Is there any, like, I'm sure there's good ones. I'm sure there's fun ones. I'm off the top of my head. Maybe someone will comment below and I'll be like, oh yeah, that one. Okay, fine. Yeah, I've seen that one. But off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. So, was he much of a kicker? He has a lot of like roundhouses and shit in here, and I was like, whoa, and it definitely looks like him doing them. So, he's fucking athletic. He's a brilliant guy too. He's a scientist in real life. He has like a PhD or something in science. It's pretty wild. So he's sexy, he's tough, he's brilliant. He's the perfect guy. This fucking seat is, if you guys wonder why I'm moving around so much, for some reason my seat's being so fucking like horrible right now. It's killing my ass. And alright, so then we run into Al Leong, friggin' fucking Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. We've talked about this guy recently a decent amount. This guy shows up in everything. And oh man, when the Galactic Cop dude gets ends up finally dying and he disintegrates in the back, or he like explodes and lights coming out of his mouth. Fucking lights coming out of his mouth. That was so cool looking. That was so cool looking. So I really liked that. Practical effects was badass. And then Kane comes over and saves Smith's ass after Smith had basically, he didn't betray Kane, so to speak. He just was so set on playing by the rules, and Kane is so against the rules. So he takes the gun. He's like, no, I got to take this to my dude. And for a second there, I thought he was going to be, the bad guy. I thought he was going to be in on it or something, but he wasn't. And Kane comes and saves the day, because that guy was going to get killed by his, whoever the hell this guy is, boss. And so now they're buddies. And I like how the alien in this is shot with the gun, the alien gun, multiple times in a row, and he's totally fine. Totally fine. But then Kane just grabs a basic, average, everyday shotgun and shoots it into this thing, and it fucking blows him back multiple times. And he's even able to have a pipe stuck through him, like a common everyday pipe can go through him, and then once he's impaled on the pipe, then the gun shoots him and he explodes. He doesn't explode earlier when he's shot with the gun, Now, granted, I think this is the first time the gun was set to 4. And I don't know, does it recharge and use some kind of like draw from our Earth's energy source? I don't fucking know how this gun works. Because it like runs out of ammo, but then they don't ever change the ammo and it just charges back up. But I don't understand. I don't understand why his body can take so much damage and then it can't. Now, granted, he's injected with the heroin. So heroin's like his kryptonite? We'll go with that. That's all I got. So let's just say he's injected with the heroin and then his body can't seem to heal itself or protect itself when he's drugged up like that. That's what I'm going with. Why not? And I like how he counts to 3 for this guy in the movie. He's like, that's 1, and that's 2, and that's 3, like throughout the movie. And when he gets to 3, you think like, uh-oh, he's knocking this guy out. Something's going down. And all he does is just grabs him and like pushes him by the car and kind of gives him a lecture. That was 3. That was 3. That should have been 1, not 3. 3 should have been him throwing him off a fucking cliff. So interesting. And these guys are just sitting in the street with machine guns, and they look over, and this cop pulls up, and he pulls his service weapon on him, and he's pointing at him, and he's like, freeze! And the guy just like kind of looks at him, and he laughs, and he's like, pfft, and he just raises his gun slowly and just starts shooting at the guy, and the guy's like, oh shit, you had your fucking service weapon trained on this guy. There's no way he could get off the shots like he did so casually and so easily without that guy opening fire. It's just no sense at all. No sense at all. But then the alien, I come in peace, and his name in the movie is just Bad Alien. And he's coming out, he's just like, he's fucking Terminator. And here's the biggest gripe I have with the film. This is by far the biggest problem with I Come in Peace, Dark Angel, whatever. When he shoots somebody with that gun, when he shoots a human being with that gun, they should fucking explode. Heads should explode. Body parts, everything should be flying everywhere. Limbs, everything. These guys just get blown back, and they do that like stuntman flip, oh, in the air with an explosion at their feet. Dumb. Dumb. This should have been bodies exploding, like in RoboCop when that guy is like covered in toxic waste or whatever the fuck it is, and he gets hit by the truck and is. That's what it should have looked like. This movie would be leagues better had it done that. But, you know, whatever. And then he's shooting at them, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves in all of action movies. I get why they do it, because visually it's something for us to process that this is happening, and it adds some tension to the scene, whatever, but it makes no sense. The guy is firing his gun straight into the back of them at the same level as they're on. So, you know, right there, shoots it, and as he shoots it at them, the bullets are hitting the ground behind them as they're running. This makes zero sense. Now, if they're up in a helicopter and they're aiming down at them, then it would hit the ground, sure. But if I fired a gun at you and you were 20 feet, 50 feet away from me, and I fired it straight at you, it would miss you. It would miss you, but it would not miss you. It would not hit the ground for a long while. Like, it would go a long, long distance before it fucking, you know, hit the ground. This annoys the shit out of me. I get it. It's supposed to show how close the bullets are and this, and I get why they do it. But they shouldn't do it. They shouldn't do it. It just wouldn't, it would look like he was missing everything if he just shot at him and you couldn't see it. Like, I get it from an aesthetical standpoint. Like, this is what the movie needs to show us that they're almost getting hit. But for me, I can fill in the blanks. He's shooting the gun and he's not hitting him. I can deal with that. I can live with that. I'm good with that. Be a hell of a, just have it hit the fucking wall that's in front of them. Have that as a reference point. I don't need it to hit the ground. It can't hit the fucking ground, especially an alien gun. This thing's supposed to be faster, more sophisticated. Just so stupid. I like that he brings a magnet with him to catch the disc. So like he throws the disc out and then, actually shoots the disc out, and then Kane is behind the thing and he catches it, and because the alien doesn't hear it anymore, he knows that this thing's done its job. So he goes to pick up the drugs, and then this is when, Kane comes out and Tommy Doyle's his ass with a lead pipe, and then he sticks him through another pipe like Bennett in Commando, and then he shoots him with the 4 lights, on the gun, and he just explodes. And then, he promised his girlfriend they were going to go on vacation. And so he's decided he's going to take her. And I guess Smith's tagging along. And he asks where they're all going, or where at least they're going. And I don't know if Smith's supposed to go with them. I don't know what's implied there. It doesn't matter. Maybe they'll have a 3-way, whatever you're into. But then he suggests Rio as the destination. And this is where the guy who had a hit put out on him went. So he's like, hey, let's go tie up these loose ends. It would have been great if they had an after credit sequence where he was in Rio and he, popped up and shot his ass to death. That would have been cool. Maybe there is. I didn't fast forward through the credits, but I highly, highly doubt it. But yeah, he wants to go on a revenge mission for his dead partner on his vacation with his girl, and she seems to think that it's funny. I was like, really? Wow, okay, interesting. I was not expecting that. I would expect her to be like, hey, you've already made promises to me. You're blowing off this vacation. You had to do this. You had to do that. And now you're trying to go get revenge on my vacation? Fuck you. Whatever. Anyway, I come in peace. Yeah, some people will be like, it's not a monster, but dude, this guy is a straight up monster. He is getting shot by everything. He's killing people with his tools. I guess it's like a monster slasher in a way. But anyway, I'm sticking with Monster Monday. It's what I watched for it anyways, and I wasn't gonna not do it once I'd watched it. So I had fun talking about it. Anyways, I'm yawning, so I guess it's bedtime, right? And I gotta get off this uncomfortable ass chair. Adios.